All right, we're back with the Fox News Alert. Get this, Empire actor Jussie Smollett on bond now. He is out and maintaining his innocence after Chicago police accuse him in elaborate detail of a hate crime against himself.
The president tweeting, quote, Jussie Smollett, what about MAGA and the tens of millions of people you insulted with your racist and dangerous comments? Hashtag Make America Great Again.
Let's go to the North Lawn of the White House, and Sarah Sanders, the president's press secretary, joins us live. Good morning to you, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Good morning. Great to be with you guys this morning.
Great to have you as well. This Jussie Smollett story is so troubling. Why did the president put out that tweet?
Look, I think there were so many people, including a lot of leadership from the Democrat Party, everybody from Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, and a number of others, mostly those that are running for president, that quickly came out and attacked the president, blamed the president. And in fact, as we learn more, it certainly seems like the only person to blame in this case is Smollett. And it's another sad example of people so quick to want to attack and come after this president, much like you saw with the Covington kids and certainly with this case as well. And the president's pushing back.
What about this? He's going to Vietnam next week to meet with Kim Jong-un, and they're calling it Summit 2.0. What can you expect?
Look, I think you can expect continued conversations between the two leaders. We've seen progress since the beginning of this administration. When the president first took over, we were at great odds with North Korea. We're finally making progress. We're not seeing missiles being tested and flying over other countries. The remains are coming home. The hostages were released. And look, we've got a long way to go, and we'll see what happens. But we're continuing to make progress, and this is another great step for the president and Chairman Kim to be able to sit down and continue those conversations.
Well, and interesting, do you think the expectations have risen to the point where the president's got to walk away with something, or the criticism will be greater than the praise? And if so, has the ground been plowed for him to do it? And I know the North Koreans want us to give in any area. Are we prepared to give it all?
Look, we've kept the sanctions on throughout the process. We're going to continue to keep them on until the president makes a decision that that's not necessary anymore. Again, we're making progress. The president's in no hurry, particularly as long as things continue to move forward in a positive manner and as long as the conversations continue to go well. Again, we'll see what happens. I think that the only one setting high expectations is probably the media, because they're looking for reasons to attack this president. They hate the idea that he's done so well on something his predecessors couldn't do anything on. He's had a great success here in the fact that they were able to even sit down at the table. The fact he's able to do it again is in itself a big success.
And I'd just like to add, the Washington Post, of all places, does cite some places in which the North Koreans have shown some changes. They found that North Korea actually halted key elements of its weapons program and decreasing the threat in the area. And he got rid of 4 people to Kim Jong-un. Many people think some of those 4 people were standing in the way of progress between our two countries.
Absolutely. Like I said, we're continuing to make progress, but we're certainly not naive in the process, and the president's going to take things one step at a time. All
right. The number one story for the longest time has been that this president, this administration, colluded with the Russians to win. Of course, we haven't seen any evidence of collusion thus far, but the story out there now is it sounds like Robert Mueller is wrapping up his probe. You know, there have been stories that the staff on the special counsel's office has been reduced. Rod Rosenstein, who had said that he was going to stick through until it's released, is about to go. What is the White House's, what are you hearing from people at the Department of Justice?
Look, we're seeing the same reports that you are, that it's possible that this is coming to a conclusion, that in his report will be finished. And we feel good about the fact that what we've said all along for the last 2 years will be clear. There was no collusion. I mean, the idea that President Trump needed to collude with Russia in order to beat Hillary Clinton is frankly laughable. He was an infinitely better candidate with a better message, and he outworked her. That's why he won. It had nothing to do with Russia or any other country, for that matter. It had to do with the fact that he was simply better than she was.
Sarah, the White House says that the U.S. is keeping 200 American troops in Syria after the pullout as a small peacekeeping force. Why? Will you elaborate on that? Why do they do this? Or why are you guys doing this?
Again, this is a rough estimate, about 200, not a specific number. We're in constant contact with our allies. We're going to continue to be in communication with them. At the end of the day, the president wants to bring our troops home, and he's working towards that. He wants to do that in a safe and peaceful way, in the best way possible, to make sure that we have complete safety for our troops that are abroad.
Is the president concerned that Michael Cohen is going to be testifying publicly on Wednesday about his business, how he interacted with the president in business even before he ran for president?
I don't think the president has any concerns whatsoever about Michael Cohen. I think Michael Cohen may need to be concerned for himself, but that's certainly something that's not influencing or bothering us in this building.
If he starts talking about with the things that a lawyer-client deal with over the past 12 years, we know the president's had a lot of litigation in the past. Michael Cohen's been all over that. That doesn't concern the president at all?
Look, that's a problem that he's going to have to deal with if he breaks and violates some type of client-lawyer privilege. I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to try to get into what that looks like. What I can tell you is the president's very confident in what he has and hasn't done, and he's not concerned about Michael Cohen.
All right. Sarah Sanders, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a nice weekend.
Nice slow week.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.